Okay. Well, hopefully we're live on YouTube at least now. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm doing a few more little bits of fiddling. Had another lamp. Don't know where I put it. I've been hiding lamps now, so that's what's happening now. This is what happens when I tidy up, you see. I'm going to have to get a notification. Oh. Yes, it's me. Allow. Finish. Hey, it's working on the Facebook then. There you are. So hopefully that brings us back. Yeah, good. So I'm just looking for a lamp, and then I'll be good to go. So there was a little mystery that's sort of always been in the back of my mind since primary school, which was the weird fortune-telling devices girls used to make. This odd witchcraft, that special knowledge they had, along with whatever was happening with hopscotch, and how they remembered all those rhymes when they were skipping, and all this very mysterious stuff. That, of course, we were eating mud and seeing how fast you could run into a wall before you bled, and they were developing sophisticated social skills. So, and then we all grew up, and no one ever thought about it anymore. But there was always something. I always felt kind of envious of that sort of special little quiet magic time they used to have together. Oh well, I've managed to make a lamp evaporate, so that's great. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use reflected light like that. That should do it. Oh yes, that gives me a nice bit of yellow coming back the other side. So I quite like the crystal ball as well, because it's well, it's commenting nicely on that act of fortune telling. Yeah, I quite like that just as it is. It's not a tall. I could do something about this high in the background, just to finish it off. And at the moment everything's very blue, but I've got this hint of yellow, so a warmer colour, something a bit taller. What could that be? What could it be that would fit in with that air of mystery? Well, if you have joined me, oh, I no longer have an assistant. He's abandoned me and gone to Uganda. But I think we will try and work something out with remote assistance, which various people might be around to help with. So that should be interesting. See what happens with that. But at the moment, I'm just pacing around the studio trying to think of. Oh, there's the other lamp. Not sure I need it now. Yeah, trying to think of what else this needs. So I have been accumulating some other general rubbish. um, ah. So at this point, I'm just trying to let my brain settle on something that would seem interesting or pertinent. Bottle of wood glue, probably not, but it does a job. I don't know if there's something about glue which is interesting. It leaves a big space over here. Maybe I'll tuck that in behind. Maybe I'll move this slightly to one side. I don't know if there's a strange connection between fortune telling and wood glue, but it feels right, so I'm doing it. How odd. What an odd thing to do. Do I need a better colour behind? I can always change that later because it's not having an effect. Now I've got a previous palette here. Oh, all this tidying up hasn't done any good at all. Now I don't know where anything is. Where's my brushes? Up here. Some brushes. I don't know where my palette knife is, which is annoying. Not that I'm restricted to one. I've got several, but I've got a favourite. I usually have a favourite, not always the same one. There it is. No, it's a different one. That'll do for the moment. I'm going to gather up the paint that's here. Got all these oranges and reds. Yeah, and gather all them up and mix them together to one vague purpley colour over here. Okay. Yeah, well, I can get cracking. So I've said Happy New Year, haven't I? Yeah, that'll do for that then. Well, that's still okay. Nice bit of yellow waiting for me when I need it. Along with that peachy colour. Yeah, mix all them together. Okay, you know what that'll do. Hasn't all dried this time, so I can do a nice job of properly clearing some space. There's no rescuing that burnt sienna in the corner. Hey up. Nice smooth palette. Ready for some new mixes. Well, hopefully some people have found their way in. Yeah. Couple of greetings, I imagine. Hello, Sue. On holiday somewhere else. I imagine Madeira is much nicer than Sherborne weather-wise. Culturally, you know, I imagine we can give them a run for their money, but maybe I'm biased. I'm reminded of the Flanders and Swan song. Have some Madeira, Madeira. If you don't know it, well, you're probably on YouTube. Nothing's going to be happening here for a few minutes. You may as well wander off, have a little listen to some Flanders and Swan, and come back and find me afterwards. Not that I'm trying to get rid of anyone, but I also don't care really. So I'm not here for your entertainment, you know. Okay. Big-ish brush. Let's give this a wipe. Da. I'm starting out with no yellow on the palette. I've got some yellow ochre. That'll do for starters. And yeah, I think with this one, I think I'm going to do something quite dark actually. Got this bit of yellow still on the knife, but I'm not going to worry about that. Is this burnt sienna a goner? Yeah, it is. It's not coming back anywhere. This cobalt blue hue. Let's put that down. That's a good colour to kick off with, actually. That was the sound of me emptying all of my paints onto the floor at once because I can't be bothered to go through the bag individually. Yeah. A nice little bit of cleaning and tidying. Well, there you go. Ta-da. Right. Yeah, I've noticed my pictures where I use burnt sienna as a brown, as an earth darkening colour, which is the purpose I put it to a lot of the time, come out a bit warmer than if I use raw umber, which is an old favourite, which is wonderfully neutral and good for that muted palette that I quite enjoy. Yeah. Blue in that. I'm going to put a tiny little dab of oil in it, just a dab, just to make it a little bit more fluid. And should I get some drawing in first? I think I probably should. And this is going to go on thinly over the whole thing. I'm not afraid of using some thinners at the beginning as well. like this, put it here. Ta-da! Right. I'm just going to put my little triangle of things in there, which means there's going to be a space over here. What about there? Oh, I quite like the shadow there though. So maybe I'll shift it all over a little bit. And then we'll have that bit of shadow there. And I quite like the front of the box. Because of the nature of lenses, and it's all one camera across this whole thing, you're getting my eye view of it, but you're also thinking too much. You're also getting a slightly wonky view of this side, just simply because the camera's up high and it's lined up to the canvas, so this is off to one side, and that's, well, that's lenses for you. So if I measure that in here, let's put a few shapes together. That'd be there, that'd be the top of the thing. Get a bit of rag on this. Now, I tend to do the drawing bit sort of extra quick. Too quick, some people might say, but you don't want to watch me spend an hour drawing this. You watch me, yeah, watching me spend an hour trying to draw it perfectly. Well, first of all, it would sort of, it would rather constrain the nature of the painting if I tried to do it all perfectly to begin with. It would also be rather dull watching me paint it all perfectly. Much more fun to hurry up the whole process and watch me paint it badly as soon as possible. There we are. Let's change that out there. Not sure where any of this goes, so I'm keeping it all vague. Okay, so that's there. There's a few of these shapes. That's sort of roughly in the right place. Roughly. At this point, actually I'm quite comfortable with that. So I'm going to move on to the thicker paint. I could use a palette knife with this, but the fact it's got a bit of oil in it means I can kind of spread it thin. And I can reclaim some bits of light afterwards, which is likely to be in the middle. Over. Rub it all in roughly all different directions. Same behind here, it's going to be quite dark. But even up here, so I'll add the light in later on. So it's just getting a surface in. Yeah, that goes. I'm not fussed about it. That label is going to be useful for the purposes of getting the drawing right. There's a spike comes up there, and that's going to go up higher. And this bit here. Oh, wakey wakey. I do always say that, I'm aware. Some darks around that crystal ball. Including the shadow side of it. I'm going to make a slightly lighter, slightly bluer version of this. Like that. You can pop a little bit of alizarin in there just to shift it towards the purple. That'll do. The little neighbour colour. A little bit lighter, but not too light. This is that going to go. There's a shape. Let's go back to the dark and put that in here. So to be vague about the whole thing, that will give me that little shape there, which is going to be important. Yeah, you can go a little bit lighter than that. I'm not using mixing white at the moment. Give it a bit more colour. I've got some confidence in the colour already, so I may as well just use that and crack on. The first mark, I haven't cleaned the brush off, so the first ones are going to be a bit darker anyway. So for around here, that might be just right. That's going to be lower down, isn't it? But we can change that later. Yeah. So that's the drawing pretty much in. I haven't done anything about the edges of where the crystal ball go. I guess the lights when they go on top will help that. Yeah, all different directions. Let's put some more blue in there. That'll be fun. It goes down a little bit more. Same in there. And ooh, let's pop a little bit more in there actually. And while I'm doing it, yeah, some fairly random shapes. Yeah. It's greener behind. I'm going to put a bit of green in there. I don't want to get too caught up in scraping out the last of my green. Before this gets put away. Yeah. Let's just try this as a brush mix and see what it does. It's very green, but I like it. Yeah. I'm just going to come back to that if I need to, which I probably will. It's all one brush so far. Tiniest little bit of white. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, some bit of that in there. Down here. And in the underneath a little bit. A little nudge of that. Right. This is interesting. I've got this sort of grey which goes into, it almost feels as dark as what's in the background there, but it's not quite. It's darker than that blue. A bit more of that and a little bit more alizarin. Let me keep that brush. Move into a new one. I'm not entirely sure about this, but let's put it in and see what it does. That seems to work. Seems to get darker further up, but we'll see once it's got sort of a, oh, it leans slightly. Isn't it come further over? That's too early to tell. Let me go in here as well. Let's do a lighter version of that. Especially for this bit here. I might redraw this at some point. I could turn it slightly, actually. That's more interesting. Changes everything, but it's more interesting. Yeah, we'll go with that. Now, okay. Back to square one. bit of a wipe. Good job I kept that other brush on the go, isn't it? Now, where was I? Oh yeah, here. That's a shadow shape. This is further over now. Goes from there. I've got the label, goes from there to there. I don't want to get too caught up in doing everything perfectly, but so yeah, I'm doing a few lines. Is that still leaning? It still leans in. That's coming across here. This one cuts into that. That goes up here. That's much steeper. I can't really see these lines properly now, but let's change that to go from there to there. And that points in that direction. It just overlaps that. Which means if that line's there, this one is in about the right place. Okay, that's good. Move some of that green back in. Does that look right? Doesn't quite look right, does it? Pretty close. And the bottom of this might need to move up a bit. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah. So just thinking shapes now. There's a shape there. Back to the shadow. There's a shape in here. There's a sort of a halfway. Oh, let's pour a little bit of that yellow. Ah, it's too much. Let's plonk that. Yeah, this is much more upright than I gave it credit for before. There needs to be some kind of symmetry in these as well. They are sort of quarters of a square, albeit at an angle, but this one's pretty much facing it, so it needs to play along nicely. Yeah, where else does that go? Right. Now I've got this colour. Let's start to paste it in there. That's good. Get that angle right. That's a shape. I'm having to close one eye because of the alignment of this. I'll borrow a little bit of that blue. Make a slightly cooler colour to go in here. Still needs to be on the yellow side, but there we go. That should do it. Oh, that's a tricky one, that one. else is it? Ooh. I'm seeing a few new things now. I'm doing this with brush mixes at this point because that's how that's working. I've got this shadow wanders down here. I don't know if that's dark enough. Yeah, a few things to think about here. Right. It's rather fun little family of colours. Get some more of that yellow, make it a bit darker. It's going to go slightly green, but that's okay. Still not quite dark enough, actually. Maybe at the back of there, and see where the other shape's going to go. Make that a bit pinker, and they're both a bit darker. So now I've got the context of that dark colour. Nope, keep reloading the brush. I feel like this is going to be a quick one today, but quite often you start off and you go, oh yes, it's going to be really fast, and then oh, weirdly that sort of matches there. Yeah, I like having that colour in there. I'm going to put a bit of it in here as well, but the yellow is going to sort of spill over the top of that when the time comes. What else? What else? Am I getting the change in the light to the dark? I don't know. Where was I before? Oh no, that's not yellow enough. It might be more like it. What's this do? That's pretty good. That light kind of bleeds in. Now what I haven't done yet is any details for things like the cap. Let's make a bit of an edge for that. Oh, lumps. Don't want lumps. I think I can go further with this creamy yellow colour as well. In fact, I can use a bit of this. Is that too much? No, that feels pretty good actually. I'm going to go over the edges of that and in here. It's going to get a bit lighter on the other side, namely there. So the label is going to help sort of neaten this up. When the time comes. Okay, I'm getting caught up in details now. While that's on the brush though, I'm going to look for the other places it goes, namely here and here. And there's a bit that's even yellower just on this side. Not 100% convinced about that, but at the moment, now where was I with that? Yeah, make it even darker and even yellower. Let's pop some of that in there. I keep thinking it's going to be darker than it is, and not quite doing it. Okay, that's interesting. So there's these particular shapes you get from where squares are, let's say, pushed through convex glass. You get these interesting little points. Yeah. That'll do for starters. I'm going to do a little premonition of the reds as they're going to go over here. That might be all of that. Let's do a brighter red next to it. I do want the brush mark to kind of hint at the shape and the texture on it. It's got this, they call it knurling. I think it might be knurling. There's this deeper red going in here. And there'll be a bit of a purpley red coming out of there as well. Now I've got that brighter red, I can maybe put in a few little dabs of what happens here. There's this slightly different shape to the label, which I will come to. If the people at Typebond want to sponsor me by giving me free wood glue, then I don't need any. I've already got a bottle. But thanks for the thought. Right, so that cap's quite interesting. I'm going to have to get some other colours in there. So probably a third brush coming along at some point. Why not now? Why not? Okay, we've got some of this. Drag that down a bit here. There's places where that's going to get brighter and yellower, so that may as well go ahead with that now. Especially in here. Oh. And that's partly the reflected yellow from this bit of mount board behind. Now I've got that, I can probably put it into here as well. And because it's yellow ochre, it's got a bit of opacity, so I don't really have to add. Oh, there you go. It's already made it much lighter. Don't have to add any white to it, I was going to say. Turns out I have to make it much darker. So how about some brown and a little bit of green, just to take the redness off, and see what that does. So I can add a bit more yellow to that. There we go. Dark, but also quite yellow. And that's a bit of what's coming in the other side as well. There you are. Yeah, okay, it's starting to sort of come together a little bit now. Oh, a few comments, and it's, I haven't got the real time assistant reading them out. Yes, thank you, Josie. It is a bit of a challenge. Hi, Steve. I was taught to make it by Emma, the folded paper thing. Yes, I haven't covered it in numbers and mysterious cryptic symbols, as is the custom, because, well, it's not that into witchcraft, I suppose. Always looked a bit suspicious to me. Yeah, there's always this slight fear you might accidentally summon something. Where else can this orangey red colour go? I wonder. I'm going to pop a little bit in there. These lights in this bottle are really subtle. While the green is still around, I'm going to make a very bright version of it. Not quite white. I'm going to put a bit of that along here. Oh. Really gather that up so I can make a proper mark. There. Still not doing it. Let's try that. It's a bit more like it. Ooh. I've got this pale pinky colour. That's too pale. Nice bit for the yellow on the outside. Go back to that pink. Sort of sticks out. Make a slightly brighter version. Just for the edge of that. Top of that. Tiny little highlight here. Come on. It's there. They're going to do it. I think that'll be fine actually. I've got this blue here. There's this violetty colour that kind of goes along and round. Pulls out that shadow. It's also in here. There's that other lip on the other side, and then I can get some. Go back to those yellowy darks. Pop a bit of red in it. Let's see what that does. Oh, it's not right at all. Oh, it's a bit more like it. A little slice of pinky red going in, that'll be fine. What else? Right, I think if I put a few of these brighter lights on, anywhere else this pinky light can go. There is a sort of a light that goes around here, goes around the edges. There's a few of those pinky lights. A little bit of one in there. A few around the top. Don't know where to do it. Oh, here's some. Look at this. We've got this. This red. I can almost use neat red just to sort of carry this light across here. I'm even going to go straight into the alizarin here because it'll mix on the surface. Great. I'm not 100% on what's going on with the cap, but there's too much detail for me to get into too much. So I'm going to go back to that. Let's have a bit of this. I'm going to put in this bit of light in here. Just go underneath. And then we'll get some more of this deeper red to go. Oh, that's interesting. Gets more orangey over that side. There we go. Maybe that's okay. One last brush on here. No, my shadow's gone. To put that back. Yeah, so I'm having a bit of an effort. There we go. Finding these tonal changes. Once I get them, like that, should describe nicely what's going on. Now there's enough paint on the surface here that I can kind of let this mix on the surface. He says, 100% convinced. Let's get that highlight on the edge of that bottle. It gets bluer as it goes across. Let's bring a bit of that into here. Yeah. And even a little bit lighter on the top. Especially around there. Does that do it? I think it does. I think that'll be fine. Okay. I think I'm going to go straight through with this. Okay, so other things I want to do. I want to go back to this black, which I will mix more of on the brush, I think. And is this too soon? Should I put that sort of, there's this gold trim, which obviously I can see, but it's not super important. I think I'll put it on anyway. Yeah, let's just do it as a direct neighbour, and then I can at least get the drawing on first anyway, where it counts. Let's have a little hint of that there. Want a little bit of it here as well. If I do the inside too, it will help sort of define that shape, which I can always work into with the black afterwards. So yeah, the glue is called Titebond, but instead of spelling it T-I-G-H-T, they've spelled it T-I-T-E, which makes it quite cool, and I imagine much more of a hit with teenagers as a result. You know, the skater crowd. Imagine the marketing department did a fair bit of research as to why more hip teenagers weren't buying their PVA glue. Now, there's a temptation to sort of be vague and avoid detail here, but I quite like it. I mean, it's a thing oil paint can do. I personally enjoy oil paint doing this thing, imitating certain qualities. Let's go back to that red again. Now, okay. It's back to the palette knife actually, because I need to mix a nice bright red. Nice undiluted one. For that, I'm going to need a little bit of yellow. Cadmium pale, genuine, good multi-purpose yellow. Also makes good greens. Yeah, that's proper bright, that. Oh. Delicious. Let's make that ever so slightly lighter, just for that bit inside the crystal ball. Let's pop a little dab on here. Is that doing it? Okay, I'm blurring, closing one eye, I'm blurring my vision now, and I think that's doing it. What I'm also going to do is pull that out. We'll trim that in later on with the dark brush. Oh, jab up here. Same thing there. I think I need to do much more than that, actually. No, probably can get lighter, but there you go. Put a few of these lights in here as well. While this brush is on the go. Oh, it's quite fun, isn't it? Let's just put some straight purple into these shadows. There we go. Doesn't even matter if I go over the edges, because I can restore the edges afterwards. Let's A little bit in there. Oh, and a bit in there. It's very flat and papery. A little bit into here. That's going to lean forward slightly as well. Angle. I've got quite a lot of brushes on the go here now. That might be enough for the red. I put that brush down. Right, so what am I on to now? Oh yeah, a slightly greeny light on here. That needs to be a proper crisp line. Ooh, that was nice. Again, get some of that flat paperiness. There'll be a highlight to go on the edge of that. What else? Okay, let's warm it up a little bit. Make it a little bit brighter. Let's go for the brightest bit now. That's got to join up to here and to there. Hey. No. Yes. There's sort of peak here. Kind of want to have one go at this. There'll also be some of that in here. Now I'm doing lines first, but that's because I want the crisp flatness of the paper. Also include on the second line. That's nice. Leave that. It's going to have that bit of brightness in there. bit more light at that edge. Great. Oh, and a bit quiet there, which is probably a good sign. I do like painting this crystal ball. I like what it represents, but I also just like the sort of the shapes and the colours it makes and the way it sort of takes this sort of idea of reality and spreads it out in all sorts of unfamiliar formats and shapes around the place. And yet your brain's still trying to make sense of it, which is I find quite enjoyable. Right, let's go for the very brightest bit, which is just going to be that corner. So there's a torn edge to this paper, but I don't know if that helps to see it in that way. Oh, how funny. Still trying to get that highlight on here. Still not quite managing it. Now the lettering, I'm tempted to go in with a colour shaper and just sort of remove some bits of paint first. Ah, damn it. It's doing so well not getting covered in paint. Now a little bit of oil here just to make the paint flow a little bit more. I could use a softer brush if I really felt the need to, but as it is, I think we'll see how this goes. Now, one little pinky yellowy highlight will just give us the edge of this lid there. Nearly done. Last thing. I'm not so sure about actually. We get a bit more colour into that. I don't know. Not 100% happy with the bottle. It needs lightening a bit more. Oh, okay, it's a bit more like it. A bit more yellow into that. Which is also in there. Oh, damn. I've just seen some things. Okay. So I've got this light. It also comes into there. Into a shape in here. That's where it's sharpest. There's a lot of dust on here. It's going to have more blue around it. Okay. This is where it's going to get a bit more interesting. There's a little bit more oil in this. Bit of blue, bit of green. So leave a little bit of a dark edge around there. As it mixes in on the way towards the edges. Gives a bit of colour to that first layer. It's got to be a bit more vertical, isn't it? There we are. I'll let a few bits of this green survive. Let's go back to that blue. Oh. Oh, what else have I got? Got a nice bright bit of yellow just on top of here. Oh, it's come out green. Well, okay, that's fine. A bit more of that in there then. Okay. Last little touches to mix a bit more of that dark colour. And you'll see why in a sec. I think. Ooh. Oh, let's have a little look at what have you all been saying. No one booing? Oh. Hi Michelle, Happy New Year to you. Super. Right. A little highlight there, that'll do for that. Nice bright highlight here, which can get a bit brighter. Oh, a bit more than that even, maybe. Yes. Right, leave that alone, that's fine. Oh, okay, what else have I got going on here? I've got this red and this blue. That deeper blue sort of cuts in there. Yeah, it gives me an idea of where the darker bit goes. Similarly here. Let's pop it a bit behind, don't need any more than that. And right, last bit. What do we have? Some cobalt. And burnt sienna. Some more of that green. Proper dense dark. A bit more blue. A bit of oil to make it mix. Is that too green? It is. I'll use it the last time I blew with it anyway. This will probably last into the next painting as well. Great. Ah, that's too, is that too light? It is. about that. Yeah. Bit of dark there. Put an edge on that. Blurry edge to that. Okay, now I'm fiddling. And I should stop. Really unhappy with that paint texture. Let's get rid of that. That'll do it. Put a bit more dark in at the edge, bring it back in again. There. Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm happy with that. And I guess I ought to sign it in red. Yeah. Whew. That was a bit of fun. I'll show you around a little bit. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I've still got time to do it, actually. I'll pick the appropriate brush, which is this one. That's good. I didn't do the little price label. Change its angle slightly. And can't see how much it was. So I think that was my granddad's wood glue, which is still okay. Hang on a minute. To find me goggles so I can read it. £3.15. I have to put this back exactly as it was. Near enough. Right, let's have a little close up, shall we? hide that. Some nice smooth camera work there. Lovely job. Okay, well that's my subject matter. You can see there's some interesting colours and shapes in it. Let's just turn slightly more. Yeah, that shadow at the side is quite tricky. And there's the painting. So I've got this lens of it. Little reflections. Oh well. So let's have a little close up on there. There's my crystal ball. This sort of emerges from so many strange abstract marks. I hope that's been a bit of fun. It's nice to be back. And thank you for joining me once again. And oh, there you are. Hello. And see you next week for who knows what. I might even try and get some people in for portraits again, which would involve me interviewing them at the same time. So maybe I'll invite some people who'd rather not talk. People do rather tend to incriminate themselves, don't they? But luckily nobody watches this, so and it's yet to be used as evidence in court. But it's only a matter of time. Happy New Year again, and it's not as bad as I thought, actually. I'm going to go and wash my hands. And we'll see you next time. Toodaloo!